Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every.
So in my mind, I feel like you have the green speeds dialed in, and Bengals needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well, and he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
The 5s, the 10s, the 20s, and the 40s, and you've got a couple that I love here, including a guy who has been rock solid at majors in Tom Kim.
Don't forget for a second that he finished top 5 when Phil won at Kiowa, and it's the same sort of sandy surface with push-up greens where there's a lot of awkward situational short game shots. The big rig, Harry Higgs, he was solid there, and he's playing some great golf right now.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Do you believe that Bobrovsky's minus 420 number right now using the FanDuel Sportsbook is an appropriate pricing?
I look at how strong Bobrovsky's been able to be, and he's been stealing these games. And when we look across the board for the rest of the Florida Panthers, there's not that standout player out there. But you got to remember, this is a voted on award.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid. All right, welcome in-game live prime time here on this final Thursday of June. Can you believe it? July just around the corner, but we still got a lot going on in the world of sports. Joe Neri alongside Dave Sharapan. We'll keep you covered here over the next couple of hours as we've got Major League Baseball games underway. We got 2 more getting ready to start here over the next hour, including what I think will be a good one in Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, getting ready to take on the Guardians. And then out west, you will get the Angels hosting the Detroit Tigers. In the meantime, there is not one other game on that's even remotely close, and they all just started, Dave Sharapan. And the Yankees were nice enough to show up into the Rogers Center, and Rodon's already given up 8 runs, including 2 home runs to Springer, who was hitting a $190 coming into this game. Not anymore. 8-0 in the third there. 8-1 the end of 5. Baltimore is not in the mood to lose any more games against Texas and their ace. So much for that there. Also, at least, I take it back. The Reds scored in the top of the first. They're now in the bottom of the first. It's still 1-0 there. They scored 1 run. So we do have at least one halfway decent game underway. And the Phillies, 3-0 with Wheeler on the mound. I don't think that should be a shock to anybody. Actually, I thought this game would be a little bit more out of control, but 3-0 Phillies and Marlins here. I am literally shocked, though, with how terrible the Yankees are right now. It's kind of head-scratching here.
Oh, they're going through a bit of a rough stretch for sure. And just what the doctor ordered for the Blue Jays, who could use a little bit of help. Cause of concern, Rodon, something not right, obviously. They're going to have to – Cole came back, took a loss earlier this week, and now, they need Rodon to go in, pitch well. He doesn't. Starting to ask some questions about the starting pitching is all starting to come to fruition for the Yankees. The lineup, Stanton on the IL, we knew that was going to happen, but not scoring runs, not preventing runs, little definitely a concern for the Yankees. As far as the other games, Wheeler is dealing. Phillies, ginormous favorites, Joe. This is one of those ones in the book. You're like, yeah, we are going to need the Marlins to just cover a run and a half tonight. Like, can you just – I don't need you to win, but I need you to cover a run and a half. Very popular bet today, the Phillies. We'll keep an eye on that one. 3-0 bottom of the sixth.
Oof.
Wheeler's given up 5, struck out, I believe, 6, and only has 2 walks. Might be his last inning. We'll see if he comes back out. So maybe take a shot at the runs, the run line with Miami at that point when you get to the bullpen. So that's it. We got a couple WNBA games. We'll talk about that. We got a couple guests lined up. It's Thursday. I don't know if you paid any attention. It's fight week. UFC this weekend. It was going to be Conor McGregor. It's not. There's other things going on in Vegas. The NHL draft. Been busy this week, Joe. It's been kind of fun. Post Stanley Cup, post NBA. This is the real week, though, that the rest of the summer starts, is it not?
Yes. We do have a golf tournament on also.
That's right.
Scotty Scheffler's not in, so there's really no point in watching. The Rocket Mortgage Classic. Plus, I didn't know they played golf in Detroit, but you learn something new every day. We also have the end of round 2 in the NBA draft, and I hope everyone is sitting down. I'm not sure if you heard shocking news coming out of the draft at number 55. The Lakers have they drafted Bronny James. I mean, I for one was floored when this news came out. I think I was just more. I guess I was more shocked that anybody actually thought this was news, and was blasting it out as if somebody just hit the lotto. The 55th pick. Who's, by the way, whose agent? The story is now that he was working the phones today, threatening other teams not to draft Bronny James. Otherwise, he'd be going and play in Australia. He was going to go and play in Australia, and you'd waste the pick. You'd absolutely waste the pick, and he wouldn't sign with you anyway. So that's hysterical, the fact that, A, he thought anybody else in the second round. And by the way, second round draft picks are all crapshoots anyway. Almost very few of them ever turn out to be anything. There's very few Draymond Greens and the Jokic's, who I think were all second round guys. Very few of those guys come out, and they're all built kind of the same way. The idea that you'd be threatening other teams that he wouldn't sign in the second round, I thought was hilarious. Because who in their right mind would sign him? Outside of the Lakers, who were you worried about signing him? I don't understand. We're talking about when in the world have we ever made such a big deal about a dude who gets drafted 55th in the NBA here, Dave? When?
We don't.
And the only reason they televised it was because of this. But it's the first year they actually, it's 2 days, right? This is the first time ever the NBA went 2 days. Well, why? I'm just curious. Why did you do that, NBA? I guess it was because you were hoping there would be drama, because there really wasn't any. Most of the people got signed today, nobody's even heard of, Dave.
No drama
of European players.
Yeah.
Ton of European players.
Well, I mean, the first 2 picks were guys from France. Last year, Wemby from France.
Yep.
So league kind of going international. And that's fine. I just don't know if that translates to us here in June with not much else going on. I don't know. Full disclosure, the boys at SportsGrid did a great job yesterday. Draft special today, draft show, K-Dub and JY. I didn't see any of the actual draft coverage. There wasn't much there. I don't even think from a betting standpoint. I mean, some people did have bets on it, and we're watching it for that. But I don't know. I mean, the NFL draft is completely over the top now. And there's betting on it. That's not why. I mean, fans like to go. It's sometimes it's their only chance to go and see all the teams with someone and represented and all this other stuff. And now it's become a complete destination. Instead of going to a game, people go to the draft. The NBA is the furthest away from that as possible. It's not when you don't know who at least half the people are being drafted. I don't know how much interest there is, even in the suits and the hats. Did you see the draft hats? Did you like the NBA draft hats at all?
Yes, I did. I did. Listen, if you're going to push merch and you're going to hold it for 2 days, you got to be able to push some of that. And I thought it was well. Listen, it was well done. There was nobody, and we all knew it, that was going to move the needle except for Bronny. But we all knew that wasn't happening until day 2 anyway. And the big question was whether or not anybody would come up and pick him before the Lakers. No. But apparently he was important enough for the agent there, Rich Paul, to just start threatening teams and calling them up and say, "Don't you dare draft them."
Do you think
before
like when they answered, like Joe? So you call me, and say, "Hey, don't draft Bronny, otherwise he's going to Australia." And I go, "Hello, like what? We weren't going to draft him anyway,
Who is
Rich.
This?
Come on, yeah, right.
Right.
What are we doing,
Rich?
Hang up.
Come on. We're going to take a flyer at the 55th pick and worry about him going to Australia. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah. But congratulations, LeBron, and to Bronny, and to the Lakers, who got pushed into a corner and forced to pick the kid. Hey, I'm sure this is all going to work out fantastic. And so are we when we get back in Game Live Primetime.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, and we are primetime here on this Thursday in the Sports Grid Network. Joe Ranieri alongside Dave Sharapan as we are keeping our eye on a couple of Major League Baseball games. Just underway, by the way, in Kansas City. Michael Wacha ends up starting here for the Royals. This was pretty much a pick-em price, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that thought the Royals were the side here. Everyone I talked to today was just as if the Guardians, you can just hand it to them and they're going to win this game. I'm not so sure about that. Lively going for the Guardians, nothing here. They just started that game. Well, the good news, Yankee fans, is that it's still 8-0. You're losing. So the good news is Rodon hasn't given up any more home runs. That's, glass half full on this show here. Still 1-0, by the way, Cincinnati and St. Louis. We do have a big Indiana Fever game coming up tonight against the Seattle Storm. That's coming up at 10 o'clock here tonight. The Aces are on top of the Chicago Sky. And actually, amazingly enough, we got a pretty good game here with Connecticut Sun and Washington Mystics right now in the third. It's 56-55. The Connecticut Sun been one of the best teams all season long here. The Mystics have been not one of the best teams all season long. They're holding tough here. Fever and Storm here tonight. Seems like a big number to be given the Indiana Fever at almost double digits. Or is this a blowout game, Dave? What are we doing with this?
Big numbers all aboard, all over the
It's crazy.
In the WNBA, right? This one being 9.5 feels a little bit heavy, but, the people love the Caitlin Clark, props. Total points, there it is, 16.5 for her. Juice to the over, according to that. This will be something we can look at later. Well, actually, you and I will be off.
Got to be over.
Here. That's right. Yeah, we'll be done.
Got to be over.
Cam and Gabe will be keeping an eye on that. The other today, Aces, word around the street here is the Aces are back, like all the way back. So,
wow.
They're gigantic favorite against Chicago, but they're not ahead. They're only up by 4, 3 minutes to go in the third. And like you said, the Sun was 11, closed 11.
Yep.
Only up 1, 6 minutes to go in the third. So
yeah, I didn't see that.
Do you get more into now that the hockey's over and the basketball's been over, like the NBA, do you get more into the WNBA? Do you look at it with different lines or different, do you look through it or look at it with different glasses or anything? Like you're actually getting more involved in it or no?
Yeah, pretty much the same. It is a little strange with the whole, they take that break for the old President's Cup thing and everything else along those lines, which is always interesting. But situationally, the WNBA, I think this season has shown itself to be a very, much like the NBA is all about scheduling and travel and those types of situations there. If you want to make money betting the NBA all season long, you do best to understand how teams perform on back-to-backs, how much flying do they have to do, rest, who's playing, who's not, that kind of thing. The WNBA is proving to be a pretty good situational handicap now here, certainly to this point, but doesn't mean that it's going to work out. But I do think that the Fever are going to continue to get headlines. I think they're going to continue to be a team that I don't know worth backing, Dave, but I do think the Indiana Fever and with Caitlin Clark, and let's face it, if you have been fading Caitlin Clark to this point, you've made a lot of money because the hype has been real and the public has completely blown these numbers up out of proportion. And there's a lot of people that said, oh, really? Is that how we're going to do? Okay, we're going to go the other way. And that has proved to be pretty profitable, that's for sure. But situational betting in the WNBA has proven to be pretty good because some of these schedules, Dave, have been out of control. The Indiana Fever schedule has been out of control here. So it's certainly pick your spots. Pick your spots with the WNBA because there are definitely some bad numbers that are always available here across the board. And the more they're liked, the worse off it is for that particular team if they're loved by the public.
What's crazy is the totals. Look at the totals. We talked about earlier on Matt's starting to look at different to bet because there's no hockey, there's no NBA. So he's looking at WNBA. Totals are moving 6 points, 7 points, open 159.5, close 166. Flies over, no problem. So I think the totals you really have to keep an eye on it. And I could tell you from putting them up in the book, they're just starting to get enough information now. And like you said, the schedule was so packed, at the front loaded at the beginning because of the break for the Olympics. So it was hard to kind of gauge the numbers. And I think the numbers now, with a few more days off, aren't being reflected as far as the total for sure. Totals in jeopardy in Philly, by the way. The White Sox the Marlins have the bases loaded, 2 out, bullpen's in, Wheeler's out. This is going to be a mighty big sweat for the Phillies run line, for those of you that have it. And there it goes, Joe. That's it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I'm not sure what everyone thought was going to happen there.
Double.
Yeah.
As soon as they brought in the bullpen, that's it. So we talked about that last break. Oh, boy. Wow.
You knew it was going to be disgusting. I mean, entirely. When it was still 2-0 after 5, we had a problem. We had a problem in Philadelphia. That was you were giving them life, and the Orioles aren't giving the Rangers life at 8-1. The Blue Jays are not giving the Yankees any hope, but Philly was giving the Marlins some hope here, and that's not a good thing. And it's now 3-3. We did have plenty of games earlier today, and we got plenty of games coming up in an interesting series or two. Starting tomorrow, we'll go over them as In-Game Live Primetime continues.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson Effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It was nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in. It went from bad to worse here for the Philadelphia Phillies and underbettors here, as the Marlins have now scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th to take a lead 4-3 over the Phillies. Things were going swimmingly until the bullpen came in, and then that was it. 4-3 now, heading to the bottom of the 7th. Orioles, Rangers, it's been all Orioles early here, 8-1 in that one. Same thing with the Blue Jays. Springer has hit not 1 but 2 home runs off of Carlos Rodon. The Yankees have managed 1 hit, though, so that's impressive. And they are right now up 8-0 here. We do have another game that did just start, and I was looking forward to this one because I did take Waka and the Royals in the first 5. Lively going for the Guardians here. I think it's a tough spot for the Guardians. I mean, you come out of a absolute war against Baltimore. You know, you're scoring runs, you're burning the bullpens out, arms all over the place. Nobody lasted. There was no pitching battles. And now they had to travel, go to that game there. Then the Royals, who have been hosting Miami, which was not really all that hard to do. And you've got the guy that always manages to keep you in games. And Waka, it just felt like, hey, I don't want nothing to do with the Royals bullpen either. So it just feels like this is not a great spot for the Guardians here. And like I said earlier, Dave, did you run into anybody who thought the Royals was a good play here tonight? Because everybody I talked to thought the Guardians were the side here, and I am not so sure about that.
Yeah, didn't really feel strongly about it, but it probably would be with the crowd with this one and just pick Cleveland because not a fan of Waka all the time. Maybe at home, okay. But you're right, nobody liked him. I mean, this is one of those plays where you're standing alone on an island going, yep, I'm over here on the Royals. That's fine. There's times that's the right side.
It's the only time you can back him is at home. You can't back him on the road. I like Lugo. I like Reagan's, and then everybody else I'm kind of not sure, not ready to jump in fully. I got to ask you, he took Wheeler out, 2 guys on base, up 3-0 to kind of protect him, to get him, make sure he gets the win, you know, or has a decision. He can't lose the game. But in hindsight, with a horse like that, like I'm of the school of thought, I'm going to at least allow him to get out of it with a tie game until they score. I want him working it out in the 7th inning rather than somebody come in with 2 guys on and 1 hit, you know, or a walk and then a hit, whatever it was, clears the bases, ties the game. Would you rather leave the ace in that situation, or would you go to the bullpen? I mean, listen, he didn't have a ton of pitches at the end of 6. So heading into the 7th inning, he wasn't overworked. So at that particular point, sure, why not? You got to have faith in him at home that you can at least let him start the inning and see where it goes from there. But you know, either way,
116 pitches. No, he threw 115 pitches. So
yeah, but he threw 30 in the last inning in the 7th.
Yeah.
They had he threw it. Yeah, I mean, it went off the rails for him in the 7th, but they let him. Hey, listen, it's Wheeler. You should be able to let him get out of it. But unfortunately, the bullpen once again couldn't close the door, and here we go. No. So the bats are going to have to save him. But listen, if you're Philadelphia, you're excited. I believe we learned here today that there are 2 shoo-ins for the All-Star game here. I think Harper and Judge have already been ruled starters, already done here in the, I guess their lead is that much over everybody else here. So obviously the 2 biggest fan favorites, Harper in the National League and Judge in the American League. You can guarantee those 2 guys are going to be here. They are definitely the 2 biggest go-getters. The second round of voting, by the way, is this Sunday. So we'll see what happens there. But if you are a Harper or Judge fan, buy tickets. Where is the All-Star game?
Texas. It's in Texas.
It's at Arlington. It's Rangers. In Texas. Yeah, okay. In so they'll hate both of those guys. They'll hate both of those.
You think Hoffman's going to come on and say that the Red Sox should have like 3 All-Stars? You think he's going to at least probably will?
Not even Kaufman would say that. Not even Kaufman would say that.
champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It was nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, primetime here on the Sports Grid Network. We've got a Trent Grisham home run, so good news is Yankees won't be shut out here tonight. They're still down 8-2, and the Phillies tied it up because they realized they are playing the Marlins after all. So 4-4 in that one. They just finished the 7th inning, and we welcome in our good friend Adam Kaufman here to the show. And Adam, it's been an interesting week here, right? We started off with watching the Panthers win their first Stanley Cup trophy there. That was always fun. And then, of course, prior to that, you had your Boston Celtics win a championship there. Can't go wrong with that. And then today, I don't know if you heard, but the Lakers drafted Bronny James. I mean, there is just absolute pandemonium. I could not believe it. I was shocked with the 55th pick that they ended up getting him. I mean, look at that. Did you see that coming at all? And here's a question. Is he ever even going to see the court outside of garbage time for like maybe 30 seconds at the end of a game against the Celtics? And by the way, how did the Celtics do in the draft? Were you impressed at all, or do you just not care?
All right. Well, which of these questions do you want me to answer? There's so much.
Start at the top and just roll through. Go. Start right through. Just roll through.
Listen. As far as I'll just go for the next 10 minutes. So listen, the Bronny James story. Yes, it was an inevitability. I mean, even had Bob Myers on the TV broadcast suggest it was yesterday or maybe very early on today that, you know, Bronny was obviously so focused, or maybe LeBron was so focused in bringing Bronny to LA that in an effort to scare other teams away, if any other team even considered the idea of drafting Bronny, he was going to refuse to sign there and go play in Australia or something like that. So yes, this was a foregone conclusion. We all knew it was going to happen, to the point where obviously, you know, it was the easiest bet on the board. It's why it had the long odds that it did, you know, we've all been mocking this thing, you know, mercilessly for weeks, knowing full well that Bronny was going to go to LA. I tell you, there's a little bit, maybe this is more of a old school Celtics Lakers thing than current day, obviously. Boston, this is not getting, I mean, locally it's getting talked about plenty, but I'm not sure nationally this is getting the attention that it truly deserves. Boston picked at 54. LA was at 55. If Red Auerbach were still around, Bronny's getting drafted at 54 and being held hostage for
a good
litany of collection of, future picks or whatever. But Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, they weren't messing around with that or whatever. So, yeah, they take their guys, let Bronny go to L.A. But listen, any sort of mocking aside, I love this story. I do. I'm a sucker for the narrative. We have never had a father-son tandem play together in NBA history. It's never happened. I grew up. Ken Griffey Jr. was my favorite player growing up, and like everybody else's favorite player if you grew up when I did. But I lived for the idea of him playing with his dad those last couple of years in Seattle. I thought it was the coolest freaking thing in the world. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? And so, now obviously for Bronny to get to do that with LeBron, obviously LeBron has this, decision, quote unquote, to make about his opt-in. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be back in LA. And we know the team isn't going anywhere under JJ Redick, and it has nothing to do with him. I don't care if it was Dan Hurley there. They're not going anywhere the way they are currently constructed. And to your point about Bronny, look, he's there because of his name. He's there because of who his dad is. If his last name wasn't James and he wasn't LeBron James Jr., he wouldn't be drafted. He'd be an undrafted kid somewhere, or he'd still be back in college at USC if he was even good enough to be at USC in the first place, because he's not that good. I mean, Bryce is the one who's better, but he obviously hasn't come out yet. He's younger. So, we'll see what Bronny can do when he gets there. But yeah, assuming he is on the team and not buried there in the Lakers G League team, he's a good defensive player. I'll give him that, but there's no offense to his game whatsoever. So back end of the bench, unless, LeBron tells him on his podcast with JJ that, you better start my son or else.
It's a good point.
All right. That's enough of that. That's good.
I love the Celtic angle, though. Love that.
Let's stop with the Celtics and the Lakers and all this other stuff. Turn to another team in Boston, playing pretty well. The Red Sox are off, but they got a big series coming up this weekend. They had a pretty decent road trip. How many All-Stars, Adam, do you think that the Red Sox have right now? Is this what are they talking about up there? Because Duran is fun to watch play. He's really fun to watch, steal bases and run and everything else. Is it now springtime turning into summer, and we're talking about the Red Sox making the playoffs? So, what's the buzz up there, at least locally?
Well, look, you remember back in the day when Major League Baseball required that every single team had an all-star? Obviously, they've gone away from that, but you knew every team was going to have a representative. That's gone. And so that in mind, I'm not sure Boston has an all-star. It's not a good team. It's a mediocre team. It's not a bad team. It's sort of, right in the middle. It's a little over 500, 6 games over 500. They absolutely are capable of being a wild card playoff team, but probably would require ownership and Craig Breslow, the de facto general manager, to add a little bit to this team at the trade deadline. But considering how resistant they were to do anything for this team in the offseason, I find it hard to believe that they're going to go and chase a playoff spot right now, because this is just for John Henry and Tom Werner and everyone, this is just something on their portfolio. They don't care about this team the way that they used to when they were winning World Series. Now that it's just a moneymaker. Their focus is on adding to that. Again, you've got they own the Pittsburgh Penguins. They own, it's Fenway Roush Racing. They're trying to get an NBA team. They've got Liverpool overseas in in soccer. So they're just trying to have a little bit of everything. The Red Sox, unfortunately, are not treated the way they should be as a major market baseball team. To your point, Jarren Duran, I guess among the position players, he's the most qualified in terms of being an all-star, but I still don't watch Jarren Duran and think, yeah, all-star. But that being said, the average baseball fan, when the All-Stars are announced, probably won't have heard of half of these guys. So Jarren Duran maybe in that way fits the bill. As far as what people are talking about locally, honestly, it's not the Red Sox. It's still the Celtics in the wake of the championship, and obviously the draft and what comes next in terms of roster building. The answer is very little, because they're going to run it back. The Bruins in the wake of the Linus Ullmark trade to Ottawa and the NHL draft coming up, and there's always football. And so it's the Patriots, and if and when Drake May is going to get in a game this year. The Red Sox are bottom of the barrel right now, and it's unfortunate. As someone who does love baseball, it is sort of a sad reality. But again, this ownership group does not demand our attention as it should. If they went out and spent the way they used to spend, and it was, Larry Lucchino kind of running things, and obviously Theo Epstein was there, and it's, going up against the evil empire, Steinbrenner and company in New York. It just, Boston, New York, it used to mean something, and it doesn't anymore, sadly.
Yeah, sports are better when that actually means something there. Although I do think Tanner Houck should be on the All-Star team because he might be the one most consistent guy the Red Sox have seen, certainly on there.
Yep.
And by the way, you said it's all about the Celtics. Aren't they a little sweat over the eyebrow with what the Knicks just did? Just saying. Just saying. Might be a little sweat going right over the eyebrow.
Even Knicks, sycophant Stephen A. Smith would tell you that the Celtics are still the prohibitive favorites to win the NBA championship. Don't get me wrong, like New York made a nice move in bringing in Mikal Bridges, but they also gave up about 10 future first-round picks. And this team, and obviously they gave OG Anunoby the contract. Isaiah Hartenstein is probably going to be gone. This team is either going to have to go win a title or they have set the franchise back for years to come in their effort to go for it. Quote fingers, go for it right now. Look, Boston's still the team. And, oh, by the way, there's Denver and OKC also. Get in line, Knicks.
Bug.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, prime time here on the Sports Grid Network. Joe Ranieri alongside Dave Sharapan as it's gone from bad to worse in these late games, especially in Philadelphia, where they did tie it up, the Phillies. The bullpen of the Phillies kind of wasted a big effort by Wheeler against the Marlins. They were up 3-0. Then it was 4-3. Marlins scored 4 in the top of the 7th. Phillies tied it up in the bottom of the 7th, 4-4, and the bullpen is at work again, Dave, because now it is 6-4 Marlins heading into the bottom of the 8th. So that under was looking great until Yeah, that bullpen got in there of the Phillies, and that was the end of that. 5-0 Reds over Cardinals. You can forget that game being even remotely interesting. 8-2 Blue Jays Yankees. 9-2 Orioles Rangers. And thank goodness for Waka and Lively here, because it's the only game we got that's no score right now. It's somewhat entertaining here, Dave.
It is. Good pitchers matchup so far. Again, you mentioned the total in the Phillies game. Looked like a solid under, and then Wheeler comes out, wheels fall off.
Yep.
Now the Phillies are looking like they're going to lose. So I don't even have a play. Like, I'm looking at the board, and there's some nights where you're just like, yeah, you know what? I don't know. There's nothing to jump at or look at and go, yeah, I want to make that play. I mean, later tonight, you got Tigers and Angels. Is this like one of those situations where you go, like, do you force a play on one of these teams or on the total or something? Because you're sitting here going, yeah, I don't want to jump in here. I don't want to jump in here. I'm not sure. This one's already done. You got the Tigers, small favorites, right? I mean, decent-sized favorites. I like Tigers looking at it, but no real strong opinion. You?
I like the home team getting a 1.5 in this one here with the Angels. We know Flaherty he's been great, but let's be realistic here. He's not going to be a Detroit Tiger for much longer anyway. He's going to be one of the guys that is going to be on a new team here that's battling for the playoffs. And he's on the road. And let's face it, they are pesky to Halos. And they got this kid that they called up here, this right-hander, Davis Daniel, who is a absolute strikeout machine. He has absolutely crushed it in AAA. And he was up last year, I believe, Dave, for the very end of the year. And he had a little bit of a control issue, but in 12 innings, he had 9 strikeouts, but he had 9 walks. They say he cleaned that up this year in AAA. And why not against a Detroit lineup that we know can't hit, that is not going to light him up by any stretch, and an Angels team that the bats have actually, come to life here a little bit. So I got no problem in a low-scoring game. You're going to give me a 1.5 with a home team that has proven that they can absolutely hang with some teams. I'll take that flyer here tonight with the Angels at home getting the 1.5 here. They might even win this game outright because eventually the bullpen's got to get involved for Detroit anyway at some point.
It's crazy because some teams, when we do this every night, we get in that rhythm where some teams, when the bullpen comes in, that's good. And you look to like, all right, if we're ahead, we're closing this out. You bet the nose in each inning or you maybe add on to your position. And there's other teams that the bullpen comes in and you go, oh, no, I'm on them. I need to maybe go on the other side. This one tonight, it's both. I don't want either bullpen.
Yep.
So this might have to be a first 5 play.
Like it.
You got to take a 1.5 rather than lay a 1.5. Even if you got the road team laying, you get the 9 at-bats. That's usually the time to take them on the run line. Not tonight. I mean, not small, like maybe could be talked into on the Tigers for me. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
How about we take the kid's strikeout prop? 4.5. The kid is nasty. Absolutely. And we know Detroit loves to strike out. So this kid, Davis Daniel, I got no problems going over 4.5. And I think it's still plus money tonight in the K department. So why it's not his first go around. Again, he was called up late last year. So he's not like anybody's at these games anyway. But he is, and plus he was pitching in Salt Lake, which is like pitching at Coors Field at AAA. So the fact that he's actually, down where the sea level has got to be fantastic for him here. I like his over 4.5 strikeouts too as well. I do not trust this Detroit team on the road at all, even with Flaherty on there, who's going to look really good in a Yankee jersey at the end of the year. By the way, the Cardinals just hit a 2-run homer, so it's 5-2 here, Dave. The end of 3. Maybe we stuck a fork in this game a little too soon. Cardinals still getting 2.5 runs here at plus money at home. It is Miles Mikolas, who has been pretty good for the Cardinals here. He just had a couple of bad innings, but he does start slow. Maybe now's the time to jump in on the Cardinals at plus money. We don't trust the Reds.
I know, but how about the over? I think I'd rather have the over in this spot.
Ooh.
I think more runs are going to be
Busch,
scored.
though, that's usually
who they're going to be scored by.
Another hot, humid night in St. Louis, and that ball could very well be flying out of the park here. And both bullpens are trash there. I don't hate that. And I think we probably have to jump in on the Phillies at plus 1.5, right? At $1.15. Why are we not? I mean, come on. You don't have to tie it. You just got to score one more run. One more run, Philadelphia. That's all we need. We'll throw good money. We'll throw bad money after good, and we'll just back the Phillies here because we know the Marlins are very capable of throwing up all over themselves. All right, we will come back. We'll wrap up this first hour. Oh, what do you got?
Did you see the guy throw up on him on the mound yesterday? Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, the Reds. Yeah. It was great. Wasn't that fun? Hunter Green. Yeah. Well, if he pitches like that again, I will.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in-game live prime time here on the Sports Grid Network as we look to close out this first hour together. And we are, well, at least we're gaining some headway here. The Reds 5-2 over the Cardinals, so that game is close. We still have no score with the Guardians and the Royals right now. We're in the top of the 4th of that one. The Orioles, I think, just hit another ball off the wall. 10-2, they are just destroying the Rangers. And what do we think here, Dave? Can we limit the Marlins here? No more runs for the Marlins. It's 6-4 right now. We need the Phillies, though, to have a big bottom of the ninth. They are certainly capable. But my goodness, this game was well in hand until the bullpen got involved, and they just have not been good. But give credit to the Marlins. I mean, they were down 3-0 in the seventh and battled back seventh and eighth inning. Big innings, 6 runs in those 2 innings for the Marlins. Who saw that coming here? But no excuse for the Phillies at home here tonight.
No, Junior Marte's in now, 2.70 ERA.
Oh,
hopefully we get out of the top of the ninth without giving up a run.
Good.
No, we'll see. It's so funny because, like, you see the guys come in from the bullpen, and you remember from when you were young. I remember it more even then because the guys that were just brought in to hang on to whatever it was like you gave them the ball and said, go out there and 1, don't get hurt, 2, don't get hit, and 3, don't give up a home run. You know, they wear their pants differently. They usually, you see them once or twice a week. They're out in the bullpen just probably spitting seeds and, flipping cups and doing whatever. And then they're asked to come in a game like this where home team's down. You can't use the closer. So, no, I don't feel good about this at all, Joe. I don't feel – no, this is – no, I don't feel good at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. Now you completely talked me out of it. I was just going to go ahead and double in now, but you completely talked me out of that.
I don't think
Vlad Guerrero just hit a home run here at Rogers Center, and it took him 9 hours to get around the bases. And I have no idea if it's just because he's a slob or if he was trying to show off. And I have no idea when you're under 500 at home, you don't just run around the bases and get home. You don't. Who are you trying to show up here? Your team blows. You're in last place in the American League East. What are you talking about here? Really? That's like you're losing 35-0, and you celebrate a touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game. What are you doing? Stop it! Absolutely stop it.
I hate when they do
That's
that.
ridiculous.
Now you're bringing up, I know we're getting ready for football, but I hate when they do that, especially in college. It's be aware of the score. You have to know the score. And, if you hit a home run to make it 8-2, run around the bases, tip your cap, say, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah, get out of there. Yeah.
No need to show
don't double step every base. What are you doing, dude? Hurry up, man. The next one would be right in the ear. Or at least they used to do it that way. I think they just, now it's a sternly worded email that we don't appreciate, I guess. I think that's all it's all you're allowed to do in Major League Baseball. You can't actually drill somebody right in the head anymore. Boy, the good old days. The good old days here. 11-2, by the way, the Orioles keep scoring runs. And if I'm Texas, they're in trouble here, being the world champions and defending world champions. I know Scherzer is back in the building. You and I were talking before the show. The word is DeGrom is maybe about a month away from having an opportunity to come back. But I don't know how that solves their hitting issues here because this team is not very good. And I don't know why. Although Jung, the rookie, third baseman, he's set to come back, I think, in another week or so. So they are having reinforcements coming back, but this team looks like a shell of what it did last year right now.
Yeah, I think there's again, as you get closer to the trade deadline, you want to have more clarity, more answers than questions, and I don't think they do. I think they're having it's going the other way, and if it continues, they're not going to bring DeGrom back. And it's just, Scherzer came back, pitched pretty well, so that's some positive. Right. But the division, the Mariners are running away with it.
Yeah.
And there may only be one team out of that division, although Houston's getting hot. We'll look at Houston.
Yes, they are.
Tomorrow.
Yes, they are. Yep.
Aces, 95. Chicago Sky, 83. The line closed 11.
Shocker.
95 minus 83 is what, Joe? Quick with the math. What is that? 95, 83.
12. There we go. 12 it is.
Every number.
There we go. Look at that. Now I got to put my shoes and socks back on.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It was nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in-game live. We are prime time here on the Sports Grid Network. Appreciate you stopping by here as we've got one more Major League Baseball game to get underway a little bit later this hour as the Angels will be hosting the Tigers in a final audition for Jack Flaherty, who will have a new uniform, my prediction will be, before the end of the summer as Detroit. Boy, what a turnaround for him. This was a guy that the Cardinals gave up on, traded him to Detroit, and they have worked wonders for him. The guy has been absolutely phenomenal this year, so much so in which he is going to be a very hot commodity for teams like the Baltimore Orioles, who had him, by the way, let's not forget. They had him after he was shipped out from the Cardinals there. Then eventually he signed with Detroit. But, boy, that would be a great reunion if you are the Baltimore Orioles, given the fact that, every one of their starting pitchers that started the year is either having surgery or is finished. So not a great situation by any stretch there for Baltimore. But when you score 11 runs like they have tonight, they're up 11-2 right now over Texas. I don't very much think it matters. And that's what they've got going. We do have a ton of overs, including the Phillies and the Marlins going on right now here. It looks like, Dave, I think 6-4 still in that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Marlins just scored another run. 7-4. That is so nauseating on so many levels. I can't even begin
I'm
to
glad
tell
you didn't
here.
take the
Also,
2.5, though. I'm glad you didn't take the 2.5.
I kind of already did. What is going on with the Mystics and the Connecticut Sun? The Mystics were up 6 with about a minute to go, and next thing I know, it's tied. Is it going to OT?
Tied. It looks like it's going overtime. Yeah, my thing's frozen right now, so assuming it's going to overtime. I don't know. This is one of those nights where there's a lot of things going on in the world. There's going to be discussions and debates and all that other crap. We'll be watching sports, thank goodness. But it's a crazy night. It's a crazy night right now. At least we got a good baseball game. I'm gonna keep the Phillies on and hope that at least for your run line they can get a run and cover the 2.5. It'd be a hell of a comeback if they come all the way back. But Guardians and Royals is my focus the rest of the night. That one's solid.
Yep.
Good under. Let me click refresh. I got nothing yet on a new line. So good to go. 0-0 bottom 4. That's nice.
Yep.
When you have the under, that's nice. I like that.
Yes.
Overtime, Joseph.
I'm going to take a
Overtime.
shot. Yeah, that's an amazing choke job by the Mystics there, who had that game won. And what an upset it would have been, but the Connecticut's untie it, and they have an opportunity to get to overtime here and get one back. We did talk about it earlier, though, and I do think, and I don't think that the numbers lie, but the reality is the Fever are one of the worst, even with Caitlin and Clark, they're one of the worst defensive teams in the WNBA. I am showing, Dave, that they are 14-4 to the over this year.
Oh my.
14-4. They stop they stop nobody and nothing. So 14-4, that's almost a 78% trend right now to the over. And we know that the Seattle Storm are certainly going to be able to put some points on the board here. I over it is 167.5, Dave. I know it opened up at 166, 166.5, but given where we're at here with these two teams, it kind of feels like, yeah, I'm expecting 175 points, maybe even more, because neither of these two teams are going to stop anybody. And it does feel like the over is in play in this one. So that's where I'm going to look here at 167.5. Although somebody's betting the Fever because the number is crazy. It was 9.5 when we started. I'm seeing 8 and 8.5 starting to pop in. So there seems to be maybe a little bit of Indiana Fever love going on right now in the marketplace here. It did feel a little high, though, did it not?
It did, but again, the Aces covered every number against Chicago.
Yes.
Dallas ended up covering every number. Or they were the dog, actually. Minnesota was a huge favorite. All three games have gone over today. There's 4 WNBA games today. 3 overs already. This one trending to the over as far as line movement. And as I said before, the numbers aren't right. The numbers are just not right with the openers anyway in the WNBA. They've been off. They're moving 6 points, 5 points, 7 points, and they're still going over. Now they don't go over the closing number, obviously, as much as they do to the opener. But I think a lot of times people, and we talked about it earlier. Sometimes it's better to zig when everybody's zagging. Other times, it's like we had a guest on, I forget who it was, but they said it perfectly from the movie Finding Nemo. When the turtles just get on that wave and just ride, when this team starts going, jump in that wave and ride it over. I think that's the play.
Done.
Right? Yeah, just go with it because the numbers aren't this week, next week, you'll start to see they'll get better. They'll be closer. But right now, off.
Yes. Yep. I do think it's been a little bit profitable to look for lack of defense, and I think that's exactly what we're going to get here again tonight from them. We do have, the under is the key here, a hell of a pitcher's battle by Waka and Lively right now with the Guardians of Kansas City. I will say that he did this last time out, Waka. And he lost. I think they lost a 1-0 game because the Royals couldn't hit in his last time on the road. So now they are back home. They've been a much better team at home, but we're going to see if they can get. I'm not sure who's going to be available for the Guardians bullpen again because it's been a rough stretch here, Dave, over these last week with them. They emptied the bullpen against Baltimore. They had starting pitching that went, 4 innings if they were lucky. So the bullpen has gotten seriously worked. They were on the road at Baltimore yesterday. Now they're on the road at Kansas City. They have had runners on base every inning here, but just have not been able to get that big hit yet to get them in. But we'll keep an eye on this. In-game number 3.5, Dave, what did you see? 4.5?
We got right now 4.5. Yeah.
Oh.
With juice. Oh. Just went to 5.5. Can't figure it out. 5.5 with big juice under. 4.5 with Big Juice over.
Ooh.
Keeps flipping right now. There's one out, so
Yeah, they
probably
got
gonna
our
move back
leadoff
to
single.
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got a leadoff signal. And how
All
do Phillies doing? How did the Phillies
That's
hopes
over.
and dreams?
I'm finished.
Okay,
Yep.
good stuff.
Yep.
That's great. That's
3-0.
unbelievable here.
It was 3-0 cruising, and everything went bad in the seventh. And Phillies lose to the Marlins. I do a show every week with guys in Atlantic City, New Jersey, which is Philadelphia Phillies country. And he's been telling me for 2 years that the Marlins kind of own the Phillies. Like there's just, for whatever reason, the Marlins play the Phillies tough. They have, and they haven't been as good. Now, oh boy, we got a extra base hit for Cleveland against Kansas City.
Yes,
so there's things happening there.
Second and third.
The fifth inning.
Yep.
The fifth inning of a game. You always, if you have a scoreless game going into the fifth, you can almost count on the fifth. There definitely being a run.
That's
he was telling me, do you think the Marlins just play better sometimes against certain teams? They've been good the last couple of years. But do they own the Phillies?
They do. I don't know that they own them. I think the Phillies just take their foot off the gas. That's the bigger problem.
Maybe.
In-game live primetime continues.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It was nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in. We finally have a score here in the Guardians and the Royals. A sac fly in the top of the fifth. Guardians up 1-0 right now over the Royals. We are about 20 minutes away from the Tigers and Angels, and that first pitch getting ready to go. And we do have coming up top of the hour the Indiana Fever. That WNBA game will be the fourth of the day. That will also get ready to go. We are leaning towards the over against the Seattle Storm in that one. Dave, there's a big fight going on this week, although it's probably, most of them have probably already been canceled again, so I have no idea who's fighting anymore because everyone who I thought was fighting is no longer fighting. But you were mentioning earlier that there is a kind of a unique fight sort of happening tomorrow night in Vegas, and this is phenomenal. And it's just, I guess maybe this is just Dana White's way of trying to avoid the fact that everyone who paid for a UFC 303 ticket thinking Conor McGregor and others were going to be there. Surprise! They're not going to be there, but a big slap fight is going to take place tomorrow, huh?
Yep. Power slap. And I went to the weigh-in today, which ironically, you can kind of weigh anything when you're a heavyweight, the super heavyweight anyway. So I saw these two guys walk in. One weighed 375. That would have been, let me see, I got the names right here. That would have been
much?
Lane, the Crazy Hawaiian Viernes, 375.
Wow.
And then Danny Pitbull Van Heerden weighed in, tipped the scales at a smooth 419.5. Now, if you've never seen this, you put your hands down like this and you hold these two things like poles, and like you lock your elbows in, while another man slaps you with power as hard as he can. There's no defense for it. You just take it. And then if you're able to get up with your, abilities to know what you're doing, you get to do it back. It's fascinating.
Unreal.
I watched a little bit of clips of it. It was wild to see these people in person because you have to basically stand there and take the other person's best shot. And
correct.
I don't know where you get that ability to just kind of sit there and take it. If you actually flinch or move or whatever, you lose. So there's rules as to how much you can wind up and then how much you can move. You almost have to sit there and just kind of zone out, let this, hit, take place. I don't know. It's different. It's not for me. I'm not the customer, but the kids apparently like it. And a lot of people are watching it. I give him credit. He's doing this on Friday. He's doing UFC 303 on Saturday from T-Mobile. Down the street, the NHL draft is at the Sphere. There's NHL executives, draft people walking around all over. I made a wrong turn today in the Fontainebleau Hotel, and I ended up in the Los Angeles Kings draft room. Yeah.
Oh.
And I wore the Dodgers stuff today down there just because I had Ohtani on my mind because he's been doing so much. So I said, I'm wearing the Dodgers stuff. And one of the assistant coaches for the Kings go, hey, did you take a picture? Do you want to come in? And I'm like, well. And he's like, you can. Just Blakey's in there. Rob Blake. I was like, come on in. They got this board with all the names on it, who they're drafted. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't feel like I should be in.
Really?
Oh, it was great. It was great. They couldn't have been nicer. The hockey guys are the best. They are just the regular dudes. The regular dudes.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So
and plus, it's the Kings.
UFC,
nobody really cares anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it should be packed there.
13.
T-Mobile, where is it at?
The UFC's at T-Mobile. The draft is at the
T-Mobile.
Sphere. It's 113 degrees today for a high.
Ooh.
113. 113.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. That's
construction.
I'm guessing the draft's not outside the Sphere.
Yeah.
Jeez, unbelievable.
Construction cones.
Well, that's what they should do.
What?
They should have the fights outside in the heat, and whoever doesn't pass out from heat exhaustion wins. No. I'm still trying to understand how a dude can weigh in at 375 for a slap competition and slap a dude 250. Like I'm having a hard time.
I think 250 and higher.
Wow.
Like it's 250 and whatever.
And higher. Wow.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. But it is.
I can't wait.
Have you seen the Stanley Cup around town in Miami? I saw a video today. What they were holding the Stanley Cup, I think, on Biscayne Boulevard or something, and nobody was even beeping. Like nobody was even saying hello. What's going on?
Well, people in Biscayne Boulevard have no idea what's going on. but it was nice to see. Was it Luongo there? I guess he had a bowl of pasta in it, and he was feeding his family at an Italian restaurant down there. Yeah. So he was celebrating there, and that's leave it to the Italian to eat a bowl of pasta out of the Stanley Cup. Everyone else is drinking, and he's going with the marinara sauce, which is outstanding there. So, but yes, the parade is coming up this weekend, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up and who shows out. But I would imagine that cup will show up in South Beach at one point, and yeah, people may not know what it is in South Beach, but they will certainly stop and take a photo with it. It might be the most picture. No, absolutely not. No. You go to the parades, you can't get out. When you want to leave, you can't get out because it takes you 9 hours to drive out any. Absolutely not. Want nothing to do with a parade. I spent one New Year's in Times Square, and I'll never do that again for the rest of my life. It was the worst. Okay. 7 hours before it, and you couldn't leave.
Do you think Jack would go to the Rangers parade if the Rangers won the Stanley Cup? Do you think Jack would go? Our producer.
Well, I'm sure he would go, but he'd probably go if they lost in the finals just to go to a parade. So who are we kidding here? In-game live prime time.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in-game live prime time here on the Sports Grid Network. Joe Renee alongside Dave Sheripan as we're getting ready for the first pitch here. Detroit taking on the Angels. That's coming up here in a few minutes. Bottom of the 5th, and it looks like the Royals have a runner on second, 1 out. They are trying to tie the game up 1 apiece. Good call by Dave on the under in this game, as we are getting quite the pitchers battle here with Lively going up against Waka for the Royals. Every other game on the board is blowout city right now, including the Yankees are getting crushed 9-2 That one heading to the bottom of the eighth. And I do believe also the Reds have scored 2 more runs to go up 10-2 against the Cardinals. So very strange night here, Dave, of baseball. We had a bunch of getaway days are always like this. You got very strange. You got Marlins outright win the Phillies were a $3 favorite. Marlins win outright. The Orioles and Rangers, for the most part, wasn't a very big price for the Orioles. The Diamondbacks got crushed 13-6 by the Twins. That was another blowout. And how did the Braves lost 1-0 today against the White Sox? Another monster favorite lost.
I was going to say another
huge
crown jewel for the books. I can tell you this.
Wow.
The books, we used to love getaway day, Sunday baseball. Little different, right? Different lineups. Guys sitting, guys playing it don't play. Everybody's trying to make a spot or earn some playing time. You get different results, and the numbers are the numbers. So I know we used to need what did one guy call it, dogs on Wednesdays, something. We'd have hot dogs for lunch because we needed all the dogs on Wednesdays or something like that. I forget what the guy said, but it was either Wednesdays or Thursdays where you needed dogs during the week. And listen, you got them. You got them today. That was between the Marlins beating the Phillies and the White Sox beating the Braves. It don't even matter what happens in the rest of the game.
That's correct.
Those are some
Doesn't
nice
matter.
dogs. The parlays are all busted up.
Huge.
The Cubs beat the
huge
Giants.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the Orioles beat a favorite. That's fine. You know, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees. That's good for baseball too, for the books. Books having a big day today. The books having a big day. You know, because they need it. I mean, the books, you know, they got to stay in business after everybody had the Panthers and, you know, everybody had the Celtics and stuff. So it's good, right? Like the books win a little bit too. No, that's okay.
The Kansas City manager just got thrown out of the game on a very strange call by the third base umpire.
I think he was out. Right? I don't know,
but I think his argument is, why are you making that call when you've got no angle? I mean, you are allowed to be that angle. If you were scoring, you'd be allowed to be able to run to the path that he tried to avoid a tag on a slow roller to the third baseman, and he kind of went just outside of where he could be touched. So I don't know how. It wasn't like he was out in left field. So it seemed a little bit strange. And I guess they're wondering why you didn't ask the second base umpire, who had a much better angle as far as that. Why are you calling him outside the line here? But either way, he gets tossed, and it's still a 1-0 game right now here. End of 5. They'll head to the top of the 6th inning here. Very, very, very strange call there, quite honestly. But, you know, hit the ball harder.
What a baseline is. When you're going between second and third and first and second,
Correct.
You're out in the dirt. It only looked like he was 2 steps away and dove around the guy and went back to the bag.
Correct.
And he called him out of the baseline. It's a judgment call. It's not reviewable. Came out to ask him a question. He might have said a magic word or two on the way out.
To say, why didn't you ask the second base umpire, who had a much better angle, being out in center field, you know, had a much better way to see what was going on. It was a very weird call. And apparently the Kansas City Royals manager told him how weird it was there. So didn't like the answer. Yeah, he gone. So now maybe, hopefully, that'll help Kansas City maybe get a run or two, but probably not. In game number 4.5 there still, if you're interested in that one. We'll have more on the game coming up here, Detroit and the Angels, not to mention a look ahead to tomorrow's slate of games. Some interesting ones coming up. We'll talk about those when In Game Live Primetime continues here on The Grid.
champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It was nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, and we are primetime here on the Sports Grid Network. Joe Ranieri alongside Dave Sharapan, as the brutality of it all is almost over as the Yankees have their final at-bats coming up top of the ninth. They're down 9-2. What, didn't they lose 9-2 to the Mets last night, Dave, was it?
I think it was 12
I think it was
to the Mets. I think the final was
12-2. So
yeah, it was 12-2.
21-4 in 2 games. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Math checks out. That's right.
That's
That's it.
that's a bit of a problem. And that's a bit of a problem there. 10-2 Reds just demolishing the Cardinals here. We are getting ready for that game between the Tigers and the Angels right now, as first pitch coming up with Flaherty on the mound going up against the rookie Daniel. Over 4.5 strikeouts for the rookie Angel pitchers, Daniel here and Flaherty. You're going to look good in somebody, probably Baltimore. Go back to Baltimore because there's going to be a lot of people calling Detroit saying, hey, in a couple of weeks, what do you want for Flaherty? Well, didn't you have Flaherty? Yes, we did, but we kind of, now that you fixed him, we kind of want him back now. So, because we're going to make the playoffs and you're not. I am going to be interested to see a couple of big series coming up tomorrow, which I think is going to be pretty fascinating. And one of them has to do with, you saw Minnesota, who finally got healthy in that lineup. You worry about them not being able to beat anybody but mediocre or less than mediocre teams. But they got a big one coming up against Seattle, who I think is the biggest fraud, Dave. You talked about it earlier where Texas is in trouble. Houston has turned it around. I trust Seattle in no way, shape, or form here. I just can't trust that lineup to be able to get. And Castillo is a shell of himself. Can we all agree on that? The Twins are going to play there tomorrow night. Ober's on the mound. Gilbert going for Seattle. This is a T-Mobile there in Seattle. This is a big series for both these teams here. A lot of question marks on both, but I got to give the edge, the bats, to the Twins, no?
Bats, Twins, pitching, Mariners. I really am a fan of Gilbert, and he's been really good the last couple starts. So pick him game slightly, to the home team. You make this minus 120, minus 125, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think the first move will come on the dog. I would use actually probably maybe minus 130 or something to just get a bet on the dog and then bring it down.
Yep.
I like Seattle more at home, and
yes,
I don't know if these two teams have played. I will have to check on that by tomorrow. I'll know if Gilbert has already faced the Twins or not. So we'll take a look at that. Scherzer's pitching tomorrow against Baltimore. Scherzer, that's no good. I mean, that's going to be a big plus again. You can't be enticed with a big plus with Texas.
Listen, we saw Cole. We saw a front end, starter go up, try to figure it out in his second start against that Orioles lineup. How'd that work out? Didn't work out all that well. Scherzer's no different than what Cole is right now at this point. Yeah, it's just trying to get through and try to work it out. And they're going to make mistakes. Cole made mistakes over the plate, and the Orioles crushed him. I got to believe Scherzer's going to make a few mistakes. And Suarez is going for the Orioles. So maybe this is, after getting crushed, Dave, what's your opinion on backing teams that get embarrassed the game before? And that was embarrassing here tonight. The Orioles absolutely destroyed the Rangers. Do they return to fair? Feels like an over game. Call me crazy. It feels like Camden Yards, over, hot, humid night. I'm all about the over there tomorrow night.
Yeah, probably. That'll be one that it'll probably get bet under because it's Scherzer, and it'll probably go over. So I like the way you're thinking. Breaking news that the Guardians almost successfully pulled off a squeeze play. An actual bunt
almost though,
with first and third, but it went foul.
Yep.
I can't remember the last time I saw a squeeze. When did you ever pull off a squeeze when you were playing baseball, Joe? Either as the bunter or the runner?
No, I was not allowed to bunt. So that was not in the cards. Yeah, no, that was we weren't allowed to bunt. No bunting. Yeah, no bunting. We played during an era where, listen, if you can't drive the ball to the outfield and get a sac fly or hit the other way and drive in, then bunting is not going to help you. But you don't see it anymore. Period in Major League Baseball, and you would think. Well, hardly at all, you don't. But some teams, I think, that go small actually, they can win some games. I think the Guardians have been doing this all year, not because they're hitting a trillion home runs. They're doing it because they're getting runners over, and they're able to win 1-0, 2-1 kinds of games here with the bullpen that shuts them down. There's way too many still home run or bust teams in Major League Baseball, as far as I'm concerned. And then you have teams that just absolutely can't do anything, although the Cubs did win a game today, finally, in extra innings. I thought they were going to lose to the Giants again today. But now they have to fly to Milwaukee. Talk about a huge series coming up in the National League Central. The Cubs are a mess. I think Jameson Taillon, who pitched great last time out, is going up against Colin Ray, who the Brewers always seem to win his games. The Brewers are a short favorite at home, but the Brewers, are they your central winners? They are for me. I think they were undervalued to begin with. St. Louis is trash. Nobody can trust Cincinnati. And are the Cubs going to make this wild second half comeback? I doubt it. The Brewers seem like the logical choice in that division. Yeah, I think so. I still kind of like Cincinnati to just kind of get hot within the division. Yeah, I think they have the capability to run off 7-8 in a row again. They did it earlier in the season. I think they can do it again. That's what it's going to take. But Milwaukee's not going away. Council gone. No. Burns gone. And they got better. Oh, Council back to Milwaukee. That's right. With the Cubs manager now. So that'll be a homecoming. Oh, yeah, that's not going to be pretty. That's not going to be pretty. They are. Everybody was worried. Cincinnati's in last place. They're in last place, Cincinnati, 10.5 games out, and Milwaukee, 48-33. Wow. So the only team close are your Pirates? Well, why not the Pirates then? Let me ask you that. What the Pirates you don't think can make a run? Oh, hold on, no, John. You don't. No. All right. No, listen. I'm allowing myself to think. Look at there's the National League Central odds. But when you look at the wild card standings,
All of those
Right.
teams there are within 5 games. There are 9
They are.
teams in the National League that were within 5 games for 2 spots. Atlanta's got a 4-game lead on San Diego and
Correct.
the next team up. So
St. Louis.
they're right
Yeah,
there.
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis now. Right. It keeps changing, that other one. But imagine this. Pirates at Braves. Pirates at whomever. Game 1, Skeens. Game 2, Keller. Game 3, Jones. I don't care where we're playing it. Give me a shot at that.
I like it.
I'll be at every game.
I
I'll
like
put
it.
my request in right now. My vacation request is in. If the Pirates make the playoffs, I'm going to the games. Telling you right now.
I like where you're going with that, and why not? I mean, the Mets, Pirates, and Arizona, and you can even throw in the Giants, who are a 6, and so is Washington. It's kind of crazy how
they're lurking.
How the jockeying for position there is. That's crazy. Yeah, but you know who's not there?
Marlins and Rockies not in.
That's it. Yeah. Can we just put an X through them now? They can't even play spoiler. All right, get ready. We got another game coming up here, in-game live prime time.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson Effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It was nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in-game live, and we are prime time here on the Sports Grid Network. Joe Ranieri alongside Dave Sherapan. We welcome in our good friend Cam Stewart in the house, who apparently has sworn off watching opening round golf with good reason, because he's got to count his money. Welcome in, Cam. I wouldn't watch it either. I'd much rather count the cash that you're making out by not watching it here, my friend. Another hit today at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Congrats, brother.
Thank you. I thought it was going to be Carver, too. And Carver and me are kind of like a team on Wednesdays when we do the golf, and I cheer for him. And I saw, like, Aaron Rye between stuff. I was out all day today, and he was leading at 6 under, and I'm like, okay. And then I got busy, and I had to do some stuff. And then I didn't even watch. Like, I didn't even watch one shot, Joe. Like, and then I check, and I go, Bhatia? Then I look at the final 4 holes, birdie, eagle, birdie. I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God, it's 35 to 1 on the each way and 40 straight up. And then I looked at my account and went, ding dong, WD withdrawal. Ready to go. Yeah, I'm looking at the bills, Dave, going, okay, that's what we'll do. We'll take a little bit out there and play with the rest. So I finally like to hit the WD button instead of the DEP button, which is I do a lot. Deposit. I like withdraw. Yeah, let's withdraw. Like
that's the best when you hit the WD
I love it.
without having the sweat.
Yes.
Like, I told people this. If it's working, just don't watch it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? If you lose, okay, you go back to watching it. But like you got there. So tomorrow is Friday. Don't watch the second round. Just take some time, relax, hang out, do whatever. And then I mean, is there CFL that we could kind of
tonight there is? Oh, and by the way, there is CFL tonight, guys. Thank you for reminding me, Dave. That's why we're here. Gabe's BC Lions hosting the Edmonton Elks, Mick Ozzy's Edmonton Elks. So we have a little bit of a clash before the Friday Night Freak Show on Sports Rage with Morency. So the line has gone up, closing at 7 tonight. I kind of like the Elks in a dog roll. They've covered all the games, but BC has a history of absolutely murdering these guys. So it's really tough. You're taking a team that plays close games. BC's a little bit banged up. And I know everyone's on the over, but I'm going to be taking the under tonight. I actually think the game might be going under. CFL teasers, people are like, oh, I'm telling you, they're great. Like a lot of the times we hit a middle. They've been good to us. I think me and Morency, we've won more than we've lost this year, except for like sometimes like the Montreal Alouettes are blowing out everybody. So those ones have been a little bit weird, but a lot of action on the over tonight. And you know us, we like to go a little bit contrarian. So I'm thinking under and I'm thinking underdog. But I still think BC will win the game, but I think they'll win by like 3 or 4. I don't think they're going to win by more than 7 tonight. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think.
Oh, my goodness. Are you happy or sad that Drake lost $1 million betting on the Oilers? I'm just curious because I know there are 2 people.
He doesn't invite me into his club. I've never got a free bottle. He doesn't even care. He doesn't know who I am. Buddy, he's got so much money. He can use Canadian Brown ones like literally as toilet paper. It's basically Charmin or what do you guys call it? Quilton Northern.
The Oilers.
Or friends down south. Yeah, Quilton Northern's a quality toilet paper when I go to the States. One of my favorites. Charmin.
One of the 2-ply.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what happens when I don't hit first round leaders, Joe. It's ramen noodles and 2-ply. Now I'm going to go
hit those single-ply.
I'm hitting 4-ply, Pharrell style, feathers. Let's go. What do we got here at the Rocket Mortgage? I got Bate already. Evan Forever Young. If you're looking for a price, I told people, watch out. Watch out. You're getting Minwoo Lee at 18 to 1. That's pretty close to his opener. And I'll tell you something. Taylor Montgomery played a really good round of golf. We've been waiting for him, Joe. He's like a phenomenal putter, good ball striker, but he's kind of hit and miss. But when he's on, he's on. He can be very dangerous at 25 to 1, but I like where I stand. And I have Ricky Fowler at 70. He actually is only a couple shots back. He's the defending champion at this tournament, ladies and gentlemen, and he is 16 to 1 now. So I kind of like where I stand. I would look for somebody 25 plus, and I kind of think Montgomery fits the bill. Matty Schmid, the German, playing well. I got to be honest with you, Joe. Can't lie. We can't lie to the people. We have to tell it like it is. He and Brady run Jaeger bombs, and let's just say. Indigestion. Yeah, we should have stuck to the Miller Lite, and we had too many Jaeger bombs. 3 overs. It's shocking. Like everybody in the golf world loves Steven Jaeger this week. He kind of fit the boxes, and that's what happens in these tournaments. Tom Kim, the favorite, not really great out of the gates. This is the thing. A lot of people, all the chalk really didn't show up, and this is the beautiful thing about the Rocket Mortgage. You take a look at the leaderboard.
Yep. You
got, like Patia is one of the better guys. He was at 35-40. You got him, Rybread, all these guys between the prices of 35 and 60 are really hovering. And great to see Will Zalatoris, Joe. Gabe brought it up last night, and I'll give Morency credit. You're getting Zalatoris this week at between 35 and 40. He's going to soon go into those low 20 ranges because he's coming off that surgery and getting better and better. And you know, Joe, that guy murders the ball for a string bean. And once he gets that long putter going, he is dangerous as hell. He's come second in majors. A top 5 machine, you're not going to get those prices. So if you guys are into Zalatoris, it's a weaker field this week. I wouldn't even knock that pick. I wish we got a little bit more than what we're offering at 12.
The Royals just went ahead 2-1 on the Guardians in the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, so they just went ahead. How about your Blue Jays? just what the doctor ordered, a struggling Yankees team.
Yep.
And dogs at home tonight, dogs at home tomorrow. Kikuchi against Stroman tomorrow. Any early thoughts on that game? We're looking at tomorrow's baseball in the next segment. We wanted to ask you before you went.
The Blue Jays are streaky, right? Like they're really bad, and now they're actually playing a little bit better. That win in Boston looked good. They look good, so maybe they go on a little streak. Great call by you, Dave. I watched the Yankees tonight. I'm like, wow, they were listless. There was a lot of balls like right in the middle of the plate that they were missing. They were just, I know they flew in a little bit late last night. I don't know if that's going to, continue. The Mets beat these guys up in the Subway Series, sweeping them. That's shocking. This Grimace effect is for real. Like the Mets got to go to McDonald's and get Grimace apparel. This guy's the real deal. He's like, it's amazing. Grimace is awesome. I mean, he was actually one of my favorite guys from McDonald's too. Him and the Hamburglar. Ronald McDonald was a little bit creepy, so I was a Grimace guy. But I'll tell you, I'm going to take the Blue Jays. I saw Marcus Stroman in the dugout. He looked pretty tired too. He's yawning and stuff like that. They must have got in real late last night. But he'll get a good night's sleep at the Four Seasons, wherever the hell they stay. Probably in a very nice place, not the Motel 6. We'll keep the light on.
Stay under the field with the way they played. That's where they should stay. All right, under with how embarrassing that was. That was absolutely disgusting. Brutal. Did you pick a side here, Detroit and the Angels tonight? Were you leaning one way or the other here?
I got enough on my plate. Just give me BC Lions, Edmonton game under, and give me the dog +7. Elks.
Let's go.
That for you,
there you got
Nick.
it. Done. Cash them tickets. Come on.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Nice to at least walk down the last few holes, or at least the last hole, knowing that it was pretty much done. It's never safe, but very proud of everybody, and of course Tiro. I mean, what a week to get his first win in a few years and win by 6 in an absolutely dominant performance the way he did. It was absolutely incredible, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Certainly with not winning for 3.5 years, you kind of naturally question if you can do it again. So I'm just proud of myself to be able to get through that and play the way I did.
All right, welcome back in-game live primetime as we wrap up this edition as Cam Stewart, Gabe Morency on their way in. A little CFL coming up here tonight as the Edmonton Elks and the BC Lions will be going at it. They'll have you covered there. And we've got no score in the late game here between the Angels and the Tigers right now. We do have an update with the Royals, though, as they've now scored 2, I believe, in the bottom of the 6th. Of course they have, Dave. So 2-1 there over the Guardians right now. You and I, we like the under in this. I thought it would be a good thing to back Kansas City early. And early, I mean, in 5 innings. So they decided to wait until the 6th inning to actually score runs. But I hate this bullpen, and I think now might be the time to jump in on the Guardians here down a run, given that their bullpen will probably hold this lineup.
Wow. Is that right? Plus 230?
Yeah.
Plus 240
Yeah.
two different places. Also running a half minus 250.
Yep.
Total's only 5.5. Over plus 155.
Yep.
Probably under 5.5 is the play. With it being 2-1, because you can still tie it and win 3-2 and still win that bet. I like under 5.5 in this spot. If you're watching the game right now, that's
Like
one.
that.
I think we could get on board with that. I might check that out myself right now if I can get that betted.
Kind of like that.
What's the
Minus
plan for the
125,
weekend,
like it.
Ranieri? What are you doing tomorrow, Saturday? Any big plans
Tomorrow. Well, thanks to you, I got to watch a slap fight now. I'm going to be all
I know.
intrigued to see the professional slap crew go at it there as a precursor to UFC 303. And what is the buzz on the big fight there for 303? Now that McGregor and is not going to be there, what is it Pereira? Is it still the top dog? But that's it again with the guy with the man bun. You got to love that.
Pereira favorite, and then Lopes. Lopes against Ortega.
Is the other guy.
Lopes is the one. That's supposed to be
great hair.
Yeah.
Great hair.
And then without a doubt. We were given Silva today as a dog. It's interesting.
Okay.
It's a pretty decent price. Keep that one on board. And then, I mean, it made a lot of sense in that power slap. Page 12 gauge Van Zandt.
I love that.
Very famous for a lot of other things that she does. Is going against Christine the Edge Wolmarans. I don't know how to say it. But she's done it before. Paige hasn't. The line opened up. Odds makers had Paige the favorite because they thought what's good for business is her winning. Well, apparently the market disagreed, and they took all the pluses they could, and now Christine the Edge Wolmarans is the favorite. So I'm thinking that's the side. Yeah. I'm thinking that's the side. So this may be a one and done for Paige. But that's what's going on tomorrow. That's what's going on Saturday. That. And then, I don't know about you, Joe. Sunday, I ain't doing nothing. I'm going to relax. I'm going to try to stay cool. That heat's getting to you, ain't it? I mean, it's 113 outside here in Vegas. 113.
It's hot when you got the street, the construction cones melting there. You got a bit of you got a heat issue there. It's not even July yet, and you still got 113 degrees rolling there. And it's a big weekend. I'd keep hydrated, those of you going to the Sphere for the NHL. The draft is this weekend, and you've got UFC, and we've got a home run by the Angels, which has now put them up 1-0 over Detroit right now. And the Guardians, top of the 7th, they got 2 out still. Nobody on, down a run. But Gabe and Cam coming up next. They will have you covered here the rest of the way. CFL in just a couple of minutes as well there with Edmonton and the BC Lions. So a little something for everyone here tonight. Dave, glad Cam came on here cashing a ticket. And now he's never going to watch another opening round of golf for the rest of the... So, like, you understand that now, right?
Are you superstitious like that? Are you superstitious like that? I've done that. I do it. We all do it.
Until the next tournament when it doesn't work. And then I end up losing and I realize, well, this was a waste of time. Yeah, this was a waste of time. So, but Cam is coming up next along with Gabe, Dave, and I. Another in-game live primetime. Be back again tomorrow. Until then, cash those tickets tonight. We'll talk to you again soon.